Hi, it's Matt at Custom Car Grills with a mesh install for a 2018 and newer Ford Mustang Ecoboost. To get this mod started, I'll flip the grill on edge so that I can make a line to cut along. The mesh piece we made is designed to install at a very specific depth. To get this spacing perfect, a 3/4 inch wide tape is needed. This tape simply needs to run along the back edge of the grill like so. Most of this edge is very obvious and easy to follow, though there are some exceptions. The bottom edge raises and dips a little bit, and we chose to make that area follow the dipped down edge as shown here. Next, I'll grab a silver marker and use it to create a high contrast cut line. And once the line is all traced around, then the tape can be removed and thrown away. All of the cuts will be made directly behind the outer part of the line. And to do the cutting, I'll grab my Dremel and use the number 543 cutting and shaping wheel bit. From there, it's just a matter of tracing the back of the silver line with the cutting wheel, like so. Having a helping hand on the opposite side of the grill while cutting can help keep this steady. Once the cut has been made all the way around, then the center part of the mesh should lift right off. There's going to be some big, rough, burnt bits left over from the cuts, and those can just be picked off by hand. To smooth any uneven areas, the top of the shaping wheel can help level those out with a couple quick passes. Then, to get it nice and crisp on the edge, I'll grab a razor blade and trim off any excess plastic that remains. Here's a quick shot of the final trimmed stock grill. Everything looks smooth, and the cut appears to be very steady and even. This looks really good so far, and I haven't even installed the mesh yet. Speaking of which, here's a look at the mesh piece that we have for sale on our website. It's pre-cut and pre-formed specifically for the 2018 and newer Ecoboost grill. With all the proper cuts made on the back of the grill, the mesh should form right around the edge like so. Keep in mind, the mesh goes on the outside of the opening, not on the inside. To temporarily attach the mesh to the grill, I'm going to grab a handful of cable ties. Then, it's just a matter of looping the ties around the grill and then through the mesh. It's important to get the ties through the mesh in a way that it will not distort the shape of the grill. I like to have the tail end of the ties on the back of the mesh so that it draws the mesh close to the back of the opening. Also, it's best to get these in there tight, but don't over tighten them to the point where the plastic grill is distorting. Once the ties are in place, I'll cut off the tail ends and throw them away. To bond the mesh and grill together, I like using the adhesive called automotive goop. This can be applied directly from the tube onto the area where the mesh and grill contact each other. Off camera, I have a fan blowing on the grill, and this will help the adhesive from running down the edge and creating a mess. The goop adhesives take about a day to cure, so it's best to plan the installation in advance so that there's minimum downtime. Once I've got the adhesive applied all the way around the perimeter, I'll let this sit for a day. When I come back after 24 hours, I'll cut the ties and then carefully remove them and throw them away. This upper mesh grill mod is now complete. Let's flip it around and see how it turned out. Hey, this looks really good. The big hexagon design makes the grill look like a GT500 model, and it can be easily customized with emblems if desired. Overall, this is an easy mod that makes a big difference, and a must-have mod for any owner looking for more airflow. Up next, we've also got a mesh piece for the lower bumper, and this install is somewhat similar. Again, I'll start with the Dremel and have it equipped with the number 543 cutting and shaping wheel. Then, to begin, I'll cut out the thin vertical and horizontal bars near the outer edge, as well as making a cut near the edge of the solid area here. After the cuts are made, the center area can be removed and thrown away. With the center gone, it's a lot easier to access the edge I need to cut. On 3 of the 4 edges, there's a fairly obvious and well-pronounced line seen here that will be the new cut line for me. With the 4th side, I'm going to need a little help with making the line. I'll get out some tape again, 1/2 inch wide in this case, and then start laying it down at a consistent depth from the front edge. Next, I'll cut along the tape line, or ever so slightly behind the line. The corners can be a little tricky to deal with unless I have the correct angle, so I'll stop a little short on them. Then, I'll work up to the corner from a different direction, cutting right on that obvious line here, and stop short to the corner again. To get the cuts to meet up, I'll flip this around on the back side and connect up the lines here carefully. After all the cuts are made, the trimmed center area should lift out with ease. The tape can be removed and thrown away at this point too. There's going to be some big burnt plastic bits to pick off again. These should come off with no problem. If the corner cuts look a little rough, like this, don't panic because there's an easy fix. I'll run the top of the shaping wheel over this area a few times to blend it and make it look seamless. Here's a quick shot of how it should look if all the proper cuts have been made. It's a nice clean line all the way around at the same depth, and I think I'm almost ready to get the mesh in place. One last thing before that though, there might still be some extra loose plastic, and I'll go over that with a razor blade to trim off any excess along the cut line. Okay, now let's take a look at the mesh piece that we have for sale on our website. It's pre-cut specifically for the Ecoboost lower bumper opening after it's been modified like I did earlier. It should easily lay on the back like so, and this is just the right shape and size for this mod. Next, I'll grab a handful of cable ties and start temporarily fastening the mesh to the grille opening. With the ties on, the tail ends can be cut off and thrown away. Next, I'll grab some automotive goop to bond the mesh to the back of the opening. To get the goop tight in all the right spots, I'll get a toothpick out to help lay it in accurately. This section needs a little bit more precise application of the adhesive compared to the top section, and attention to detail is key here. There needs to be a good seal all the way around, and I left no edge untouched with the goop. After it's cured, the ties can be cut off, taken out, and thrown away, and now we're all done with this mod. Let's flip this around and see how it turned out. Wow, I'm really impressed with how this looks. This bottom piece will complement the upper grille quite well, and the combo of these two looks great installed on the vehicle. Here's a picture of the two-piece combo. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions about this install or any of our other products, then feel free to contact us, and thanks for watching.